How's it going, guys? I'm Chase Lee, and welcome to Real Reviews Live, where I'm doing this thing live, and I'm going to take your questions. If you comment that places, rub in my face and let me know, and I'll answer them based on whatever movie I'm reviewing, or if you just want to talk or whatever, I'm here for you. I'm your friend. So you're probably wondering, what am I holding? And I'm actually holding a booklet for the 9th Annual Dallas International Film Festival. That's right, kids. I'm covering that. And so I'm watching 15 to 17 movies. So you're going to have 15 to 17 reviews pretty much piling on this channel within the next week and a half. But I want to try to get these out to you as fast as possible so you can kind of determine whether you want to see these movies yourself or not. So the first movie I saw on my very first day was Sacrifice. And I have my nifty little booklet here. So let me tell you what it's about. 4 teens embark on a celebratory hunting trip that goes horribly wrong. When they try to cover up the terrible accident they've caused in the woods, each boy finds himself snared in a trap of guilt and consequence beyond its wild imagination. With touches of thriller and a horror tale, Sacrifice is also a complex character study that explores the ramifications of bad decisions made in the moment and shows just how far one can go when trying to right a wrong. So that's essentially the movie, and I didn't know anything about this movie, I'm going to be honest with you. Didn't know anything, and so I was excited because I read the synopsis, what I just read to you, and I was like, I'm hooked. I don't even know what it's about, but I'm hooked. And it's also a Texas shot film. It's made here in Texas, and so I really appreciate that because, you know, I'm from here, and so, you know, it's nice to see movies made in your state that you're living in. So was it a good movie? Yes and no. So let me break this down. The directing is directed by Michael Cohn, and I really apologize if that's not how it's pronounced because you were at the Q&A last night, and I totally forgot how to pronounce your last name, and my phone just went off. Sorry. So Michael Cohn directs this really atmospheric, like really dark movie. Like when you read that synopsis, like, oh, something happens in the woods, you can kind of figure out what happens. But it takes you into this like dark rabbit hole where like you cannot get out of it. Like these kids dig themselves deeper and deeper by making the worst decisions in human history, like within the moment. And so I really like the director's atmospheric tone and nature of this film because it's very creepy. And it really just, it kind of captures this like dark and twisted story very, very well. And that has to go with like the way it's shot and just the way the story progresses and stuff. I really liked it. It reminded me of like, kind of like a messed up Hitchcock version of Stand By Me, except with teenagers instead of little kids. So I know that's high praise and people are probably going to be looking at me weird, but you know what? I kind of got that vibe from it. I'm just still thinking about the ending. It's so twisted, man. It's so twisted. So besides setting in that dark atmosphere, I do agree that like he does create like this really nice character study of, you know, teenagers that are pretty dumb because, you know, your brain doesn't really fully function until you're 25, doesn't fully develop. Well, not function, fully develop and you know, mature and stuff. And so that really shows here. These kids are dumb. I'm sorry. This is one of the complaints I have is like these kids are absolutely like really dumb in the decisions they made and stuff. And you know, some of it is kind of unbelievable, but at the same time, I was a teenager once and I've done some stupid things, so I get it. I really do. So like I said, Michael does create like this really slick atmospheric tone of a movie to this really creepy and dark story, and I really enjoyed that. But the third act is where I started to lose a little faith, because as soon, like at the very beginning, we see these kids interact, and in the second act, we see them in the woods. That's the best part of the entire movie. When they get back home after the woods, there's a lot, because I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'm really trying to like work around what I'm saying. So there's a lot of stuff brought up when they're in their hometown after the woods. Police get involved, and you know, the parents of the children and stuff get involved. So that's all I'll say. And so there's a lot of stuff that happens to where like it was so critical in that third act to where like it isn't really answered at the end of the movie. It just kind of ends. And I kind of like, usually when a movie is like too long, you can say it's too long. You can say when it's too short, you can add some stuff. That's not a bad thing. And Michael, if you're listening to this, I think you should have added at least 15 minutes to this movie to kind of wrap some things up near the end. I'm not going to spoil it, like I said, but there's a few things where I was like, okay, why don't we wrap that up? And then it just doesn't happen. There's also one thing that happens at the end that is so out of the blue. I don't really, I buy it kind of in that I kind of don't. It just came out of nowhere, and if there was more like things planted and hinted at in the beginning of the movie, I can kind of see that, but because it's the main character is a football player. The two parents really adore that football player, so they kind of sell him like most Texas fathers do that have their sons play football, to where like they want to have him go to a good school, get a full ride, and get a lot of money and stuff. And so, because they don't have that much money. Then the main character has a younger brother. He's not really liked. He's an outcast. That's fine. But there's something that happens at the end, and it is so out of the blue. I understand, but at the same time, I wish there was just more planted in the beginning to kind of establish that. That's all I'll say. So the directing, like I know I keep saying that, but it really is good for the most part. There's just those minor issues. The acting, I didn't really care for any of the actors that much. The main guy that played Hank, he was really good. I really liked him. He kind of, took charge of the movie, and rightfully so. He was the main character. And then Dermot Mulroney plays the alcoholic, like, kind of D-bag father, and I thought he did a really good job. He kind of played that character where I was like, I really just want to punch him in the face. So the acting all around was just kind of, it's just okay. I mean, I don't know. No one really stands out. I think that's the problem. It's just no one really stands out. I just remember the dad and the main character to where, like, they're the ones that really kind of sold me on this entire story and stuff. And I didn't really like the little kid. I'm sorry. The younger brother, didn't care for that actor. And it felt like he was kind of being too forceful with his performance. So that's just my opinion. Cinematography, I really, really dug. Especially when they're in the woods. You have all these harsh shadows at night and stuff, with headlights and just people coming out of the dark in front of the headlights, and it's raining like half the time, and you have to have like a certain amount of light to kind of just cast just a little bit, just so you can see what's going on, but still have that realistic kind of night feel to it. It was really cool. I really love the dark, rich colors of the woods with the the browns and the greens counteracting with the sky. It's really gorgeous to look at, and I really dug the cinematography because, like I said, most of it is shot in the rain. I'm a filmmaker, guys, and I can tell you this right now that filming in the rain is not easy. It is actually kind of difficult, and so I really commend them for creating that fake rain and making it look pretty realistic, and just using the camera in various different angles and stuff to where it just looks dark and gritty to look at, and I really like that for the story. And there's a part where because they're in an RV. And that's how they get to the park and whatever. There's a shot where something happens to the RV and they're kind of trying to get out of it. I thought that was kind of cool because like the camera was in there and it felt claustrophobic, and you really felt like you were in there with them, like trying to get out and stuff. So I really appreciated those type of shots. So the cinematography was actually really good. Everything that was shot in the hometown, didn't really care for it. Just a little bit kind of reminded me of like a student film. Sorry, but everything that was in the woods, it was just really good. But just the hometown stuff, it just felt kind of flat in my opinion. Editing, like I said, this movie's an hour and 45 minutes. It would have benefited to have a 2-hour runtime and have that extra 15 minutes to kind of, wrap up certain elements. Not all of them. I realize I'm okay with certain things being open-ended, but there were just some that should have been kind of wrapped up. But I thought the pace was outstanding because, like I said, I was gripped from the moment they started like going to the woods till the very end. It's like that thing literally had me by my throat and was like, listen, you're going to like this. I'm going to take you on this awesome suspenseful ride. So it reminded me of like a film noir meets Hitchcock meets a teenage version of Stand By Me that just like was super effed up, dark, and twisted. And I love it for that aspect. But I mean, like I said, there were some problems, like I said, with the acting and the whole third act and stuff. But overall, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I can't quite get it to 7 because of all those problems. And I didn't really want to give it a 6 because like, there's a lot of, good from this movie to where like it can kind of outweigh some of the bad. But 6.5 out of 10 is not bad at all. Like it's a fresh rating. And so I would actually recommend you checking it out. It's a really local, independent film from Texas. It was nice. And, I'm not going to lie. I had a film that I turned in for the Dallas International Film Festival in competition for the Texas category. And I didn't make it. But, seeing movies like this, I'm kind of glad that, they did kick my ass, so to speak, in the competition because, it was a really good film and it was miles better than mine. So I'm a little jealous. So, but I did really enjoy it for the most part. So have you heard of Sacrifice or, do you want to see it? Like, did I convince you? It's a really cool, suspenseful thriller horror. Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. So that is my review of Sacrifice. That is the first movie on day 1 of this festival, and I will cover many more movies. Do not worry about that. No one watched live, which means I have no questions. So, that's okay. No one really watches this anyways. It's fine, guys. I understand. You have things to do. So tune in next time, which is going to be later today, for another review of a film I saw at the festival. So, yeah, that's it for this one. Have a good day. Have a good night. And if you want to see some Sacrifice, I would say Sacrifice. Okay, I had to do that at least once with arms wide open. Creed. That's all I can think about. I'm just kidding. It's a good movie. Go check it out. All right, I'm going to play my outro music. You guys ready for it? All right, here we go. See you later.